Hi my Donnas, welcome back to another video. Guys, I see some inboxes, some comments, and I wanna like talk about some of those stuff. But before I do that, I just wanna explain to you something. I have did a video on the sacrifice that I have made by not leaving my children at an early age to go overseas for a better opportunity, and the reason why I didn't do it. I did not go into details, but because of what I have been through, and I am not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm just saying I did that, and the video that I saw, it breaks my heart because a child is innocent, and when somebody do a child something like that, it hurts. It's gonna hurt. I mean, so because of what I have gone through, and I know the feeling of being neglected, there was time when I feel so overwhelmed. There was this night I can remember, and there was a time when I miss my parents. There was a time when I have to go outside, and I don't want to cry, so I don't want to talk too much, because sometimes when I remember some of these things, it's not that I don't get over it, but sometimes things just come back up into your head, and it kind of, make you feel down and sad. But this particular, one of these stories, you see, I wrote a book, and there's so much of the stories in this book that I have gone through, and is a perfect reason why I did not leave my children. If you know who I am, what I have been through, then you would have understand why I did that video. It's not to make any parents look bad. It's just to say that a lot of us as parents have made some choices sometimes that is bad for our children, and sometimes when our kids turn out to be somebody that we're not expected, is because of the neglect and not caring and stuff like that for the children. They need us, and we have to focus on trying to help them to be better than who we are. I'm not saying that everybody's gonna be better and everybody's gonna, but sometimes the mistakes start with us. It starts with us. And we just want to say a big shout out to all the parents them who text me in my inbox and in my comment section. Gratitude. God bless you know who reach out to me and who credit me for that. I appreciate it, but let me tell you something. I appreciate all your credit, but anything I do, sometimes I just speak from my heart. I speak how I feel. And during that time, even though I was a young single mother, when that opportunity come, I choose not to, because I have a mind of my own, and that my mindset was on my children. My mindset is to raise them better than how I was raised. Like this particular time, there is about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and my grandfather was crying for pain, and I heard a sound outside, which is, I was a Kingstonian. I was pretty young, and I was a Kingstonian, so I was afraid of frogs and all those stuff, because when I used to live in Kingston as a little girl, I don't remember seeing frogs and all these things. So I was so afraid of these things. And then they said when frogs spur on you, like when that thing that come from them, it can give you these swelling stuff. I grew up hearing that. I don't know if that's true, but I was afraid of them. So I went outside. My grandfather sent me outside. I was the youngest one in that house, and everybody else was sleeping. But maybe because I wasn't going to school or something, I don't remember the whole thing, what was happening, but I was the youngest one. And I went outside, and I have to catch up a wood fire in that night when there was no light. Remember, we have no light, there is no running water, there is nothing. I have to go to the drum, which is at the corner of the house, which is not far from the house and from the kitchen, but I have to walk there, and I was afraid of frog, to get the water, to come back and put it in the cheese pan, make up the fire, which is the wood fire, and had that water bring to him, for him to use it on his back, because his back was hurting. Anyways, my grandfather was a farmer, and that cutlass that he used to use and bending his back over a period of time, that is going to affect him. So he was having lower back problems, and we have to give him water sometimes in the night to put on it, he put it on towel and he would leave it on it for it to ease the back pain. So that night, after I put the water on the fire, I heard this walking outside. It could be a frog, it could be the dog even walking, because we were surrounded by trees in the yard, and they're stepping on trash. And as I said, I locked the door, I locked up in the outside. It's an outside kitchen because it's a wood fire, so we have the outside kitchen, and I went there to make up the water, and I heard the noise, and I rushed underneath the kitchen counter where the wood fire had, and the water. And by just cringing up in the corner, I was small, by just cringing up in the corner, the water turned over, boiling water turned over, and burned me up. And I have the scar to show you right now. If you look on my arm, you can see it. You can see the darkness. It burned up the whole of here, and I am going to show you it. It's on my knee up to this day. It's right there. If you can see it, see the wall of here, you can see it. And even though I was little, all of here got burned. So the water burned this arm. You can see it. If you look on this arm, you don't see that dark spot that you're seeing on here. So it's still here. And in the morning when I wake up, my grandfather did not get the water. I was outside crying. Everybody was sleeping. Nobody knows what was happening to me. I guess my grandfather fell back asleep, and then I blacked out. After a while, I just blacked out. I don't even remember the whole story, but I remember the water burned me up. He did not get the water from me. And in the morning, when he asked me about the water that he sent me to Hart when everybody was sleeping, he said to me that I said to him that the water turned over and burned me up. And I said, I don't know. I hear like a ghost or a duppy. No, I thought it was a duppy, because they used to talk about a lot of duppy stories. So I thought it was a duppy, and I said it could be a frog or the dog walking. Yes, I was afraid of frog, and I was afraid of duppy, because there was so much duppy story that they talked about at night, and that scares us as the little one growing up. So anyways, when I was telling my grandfather what happened, he said, "Move me, bumbo wall." That was his favorite bad word that he cursed us when he get angry and we don't, things don't happen what he want or how he wanted. He said, "Move your bumbo wall from here." So, but duppy me bumbo wall, blah blah blah, and in curse, So anyways, I did not go to the doctor, and that just raised up to be this big breakout and sore and strip, and it was a mess. It was a mess. So I will, like things like that, I will just not never ever forget. Older that was in the house that could have gone at the water, but everybody was sleeping and they don't know nothing. So anyways, that is one of my story that I could say these are a lot of the reason, and that is nothing compared to a lot more that I have gone through, that I wouldn't want my children them to go through, by leaving them with somebody that did not give birth to them, because nobody is gonna love your children the way you do as a parent. You cannot expect somebody to love your children. You give birth to that child, and if you don't love them, then nobody's gonna love them the way you do. Mother is a mother. To be honest, your children are a part of you, and it's a no matter how much you love other people children, your children are you bring them here, you have a different love for them. So it can't be the same. It cannot be the same. You can love other people's children, but it cannot be the same because you bring forth these children here. And I believe that if my parents did raise me and send me to school, I did not, when I was 19, I could not spell my name. I have educated my own self. I have self-educated myself. I couldn't spell my name at 19 years old. So just picture that. I mean, there's so much of the story that is in this book, why I would not leave my children with anyone. And I raised them a certain way to love themselves and to care for themselves. And that's why I know that that opportunity that I was getting when my baby was 2, my third child was almost 4, because 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So the small one was 2, my son was 4, my second daughter was 6, and my first daughter was 8 when I get the opportunity. When I leave them, because this question was asked, at what age did I came to the US? I came to the US when my daughter, she was 21. So I have mixed up when I came here in that video. Sometimes I tend to do that. Sometimes I mix that up when I'm adding or checking the age group. So this daughter was 21 years old when I came here. My second daughter was 19. My son was 17. And my baby was 15. When I came to the US, she was 15 years old. So, for that being said, I just want them to spend the time to themselves. They was big enough and know who I am, know what I stand for, what I want to do. Our children, when I sit with my children and talk to them, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the US and I'm going to try my best for Una to have a better life, because there were days when we were so hungry, we have nothing. We have nothing. Like, we had a tin mackerel and a few banana for dinner. Sometimes, even on a Sunday, we could barely find food sometimes to eat. So I was a single mother with 4 children. I have to send them to school and do all of that stuff without an education. It was very hard. It was very, very hard for me without a high school diploma or a college degree to get. I was getting very little minimum, a little bit above minimum wages to take care of 4 children as a single mother and paying rent. Ask me how I did it? God. Because I remember this story when my friend said to me in Jamaica, Donna, at my workplace, she said to me, I don't know how you do it every week. Your children them go to school, how you do it? You pay bills, and I'm earning way more than you, and I only have two children. You have 4. And I can barely survive with mine. I am not paying rent and you are paying rent. And I look at her and said one word, God. And then I said to her again, you have to ask him. I said, God, only God, you have to ask him. Yeah, I said one word first. I said, God. And when I said the word God, I felt like a relief on me. I felt so relief. I said, wow, like a breath of fresh air. I got somebody to put my burden on. Take it, Father God. Take it, because you're not bringing us here. You're not leaving us or forsake us. And I get the opportunity again to go away. And I didn't go. It's the second time I get it. And I did not go. It wasn't Canada. It wasn't Canada. The second one was Canada. It was England. And I did not go. You understand? I did not take that opportunity either. Because I always used to think that if I'm going to get married, I want to get married for love. I don't am like I do things from my heart. I do things because my feelings and my gut feelings feel like it is right to do. And when I make that, when I decided to come to the US, my gut feelings tell me this is your time. When I get the opportunities before, it did not feel like my time. It did not. I wanted the opportunity, but only if my children was gonna be with me, because my children are my heart. My children are like, I was at that point. It's like nothing, nothing. I don't care about nothing but them. Knowing that God is able for me to see them to pass the worst. What they do with their life now is none of my business. But I know that I have prepared them for better. If they decided to change into somebody else now, they are all adult. They choose to make their own decision. They don't have to stood by what I told them to do. But the good thing about it, I have never get any complaint. They are never been in trouble when I was raising them. I never had any drama. People complaining at school, they're in fight, they gone away with friends and company and involved in wrongs, and I never had any of that. So I did my part. So if they choose to be somebody else today, that is not my business. They choose that life, and I can't stop them from be who they want to be after they grow up. If they decided to have this one have 15 man, that one decided to marry to 10 different man, if this one chooses to have a dozen children, and that's none of my business. The good thing about it, I just don't want to hear that they are involved in anything that is wrong, or and I'm not saying that that's what they're doing. I'm just saying that if they choose to live a certain lifestyle, that's not on me. That's on them. They want anything they choose to do, I will support them as long as they're not hurting people. That's it. Like whatever they choose to do in their life, let's not say that. I'm not gonna support them on things that I'm not stand for. I will not support my children on anything that I don't stand for. If they choose to do things that I don't stand for, then that's on them. I don't care. I'm not gonna say I don't care. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear. So do your life and I'll do mine. You are all grown. They all live their life, and I don't want to get involved in what they're doing all the time. I want peace. And if they're doing things that I am not happy with, then I want peace. You do you, and I do me. They're grown, and I can't tell them what to do anymore. But I know for sure when they were young, I got them full attention, and I get to do what I want to do, which is to raise them to be better than me. Raise them to have a mindset of determination. Raise them to take care of themselves. So if I put them out of my house, they know how to go work and find a job. They have to know how to survive, and that's the goal. That's what I raised them to be, have a mentality. At the age of 19, all of my kids know how to read, know how to write, who passed their subjects, who finished high school, who do whatever. They all know. I didn't get that. I wish I got that, because at some point I feel like I would be the prime minister in Jamaica if I did get that education, because of the kind of person I am, the self-driven person I am, and I know wrong from right. So I choose to walk the straight road because I have a heart and I feel for people that is hurting, and I don't want to hurt anyone. So when I do the video, I don't want anybody to feel like I am throwing stone on anybody. No, I'm just saying what I would do, and I'm explaining as a mother what I would do. I don't want anyone to feel like, okay, you do this. There are things that some mother been going through, and they feel like they have to run. Some of them are being abused by their spouse, and they have children with them, and they decide that there's several different things. I'm just saying, I was always the kind of person who wants to make my own choices and my own decision, and I don't want to follow anyone to do it. I want to make my own choices, and I want to stand up for myself and my children when they couldn't stand up for themselves. Now they are grown, they make their own decisions. You know what I mean? So that's just it. So guys, I don't know. I could sit here and talk all day, but I'm gonna cut this video now. But I just want to say thank you guys, all of you that reach out to me about the video, and thank you for your understanding. And for the few that said you might feel like they did have to do it, I understand your pain. And if you're in a situation where you have to, then you have to do what you have to do. The thing is though, when you're leaving your children, you have to make sure the road is clear. I am not saying everybody, you should never ever do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I didn't want to do it because I know what I have gone through. And I'm not saying no one shouldn't do it. But I'm just saying when you're leaving, make sure the person you're leaving your children with is safe. How you gonna know that? Time. I have people in Jamaica that I would have leave my children with. I have my friend Christine. I had my friend Karen. They're good people. I have my auntie, one of my auntie. I had one of my sister as well. They're good people, but at the same time, there are things that I don't, while I wouldn't want to leave them. In the back of my head, I just still have the scar from my growth in the back of my head. And when my sister was alive, I feel like I could have leave her, but I would have to move my sister from where she was to stay with my children. And I didn't want that. My children was old enough to take care of themselves. I grow them to be responsible. They were learn how to wash their clothes. I leave a washing machine. I show each and every one of them how to use that washing machine. I leave them with 2 television. I leave them with 2 bedroom house. I leave them with 3 beds, a king size bed, 2 queen size bed in that house. They were comfortable. All they need was just food and the bills to pay, the light bill and the bills them to pay. And they know how to take care of a house. So I leave them by themselves. And I am happy that I did that. I have no regrets. Even though when I was here, I used to cry a lot because I missed them. My first Christmas without them, I cried my whole day. My whole day. I did not do anything. So that messed me up. I love my children and God know how much. And God bless me to have them. But I wish my parents was there the way I was there for my children. At least part of it. So that being said, just try your best to be involved in your children's life because they did not ask to be here. And I'm just speaking from my heart because I was growing up, I still have a lot of baggage, even though I wrote this book and I let some out. But I'm not gonna get it back. But that's why I didn't want my kids to have those regrets that I had. This book has helped me to release a lot of it. Also my husband. So I'm living much better, much freer because I share my story with the world and I feel like so many people have gone through so much things. So even though I was a hurt little child and I used to cry a lot because I was in so much pain, I just didn't want my kids to go through that trauma. And I'm not saying that I'm a perfect mother. No, I'm not. But because my kids them have hurt, they have pain, but it's nothing compared to mine. It's nothing compared to mine. And sometimes I ask them, sometimes we talk. Everybody have things that they would have, but I try my best to be my best. And I try my best to give them what I could. I wasn't abusing my children. And I can say that clearly. You know, I just try my best. I try my best to be the best mother I could, which even if my present was just be there, I wish my parents' present was there for me. You know, I wouldn't have gone through what I've gone through if I was around my parents. And that's why I choose not to do it. So you have to go through something to realize that what you're going through is pain. And you don't, if you have sense, you're not gonna want your children to go through what you have gone through. Don't sweep it under the rug and think it's okay to put your children through the same thing. I didn't want to do that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for volunteering. Thank you so much for being a part of my story. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your feedbacks. And share my videos with your friends and your family. I truly appreciate you. God bless you all. And I mean, you see, telling your story, it can help somebody else. I would never want to look down on a mother. It doesn't matter. Like, if they decided to go or not go, that's not the point why I make this video. I'm just saying to be clear on what you're doing before you do it. Be clear. There is so much good people still out there, even if take time to know people. If you have a friend and you're coming from childhood and you know that friend is real, genuine and loyal, and you know that you could leave your child with that friend, you could take the chance. You could. If you know that person and you know that person stand for certain things, there's ways I can know when somebody is genuine, when somebody is loyal, when somebody is real towards you. They ride and die for you. Those are people you trust. Those are people you have your back. And when you have people taking care of your children, look out for them too. Don't just take care of your children. Look out for that person too. Look out for them too. If you get an opportunity, try to get an opportunity for them too. And you know, it's level, it's square. You're looking out for them, they're looking out for your children. Don't turn your back on that person. Don't ever turn your back on that person who take care of your children. And that's just it. Anyway, guys, tell me what you all think in the comment section. Please remember to like, share, and comment. Leave your thoughts. I read them all. God bless you, and stay strong. Focus. Okay? Love you guys. Bye. Okay, guys, so before I go, one more thing. This t-shirt, 876 Roots Wear. Please go on Facebook and 876 Roots Wear. Big them up for me, okay? Enough love.